All right, so here is an example of how to use this tactic called the promise exposure spectrum. Now, this is step 4 of the engineering a marketing funnel process, which is multiple tactics. This can't be just one tactic. It's a lot of steps. So it's better to just do this one at a time. So here's an example of how to do this tactic. Now, you need to have already done the previous tactic, which is linked here. So you need to have already completed that in order to do this step. Now, as an example to do this step, what we need to do is the promise exposure spectrum. What is this about? So let's take a look at an image here. So this is a sheet that I use for this, and basically we can see here. Let's zoom in. So let's scroll up a bit here. Okay, so we have this here. All right, the promise exposure spectrum is this, and this is attached in the tactic as well. So it's very simple. If this is incredibly important. If we mess this up, basically this item here, this is absolutely key because this helps us to differentiate from our competitors. The biggest reason for failure in a marketing funnel campaign is an immature marketing message. I bet you have never heard that, and 80% of you are in marketing. This is a tragedy. So I hope this can make you fix it today because we need to make better marketing out there for people. So here's the video as we're making this video now. So let's see. So here's a very simple example, and this is in the tactic as well. If you let's say we just started. Let's go back in time, and it's 1985. Okay, and probably most of us, maybe you were babies or a little, or not around yet. Maybe for the old school guys you were, but back then, diet pills were not really a thing. So the first company to come out with a diet pill said, hey, if you take this pill, you'll lose weight. Now, if nobody heard that before, then people will buy it because it's a clear promise. And if there are no other competitors out there, this is a stage 1 market. If there's a million people out there that they haven't heard this promise before, then some of them are going to buy it. So that's a message that is mature for the stage that the market is at. What that means is that business only needs to make a promise at a stage 1 promise, and they will make sales. Now, what happens is other companies see that this is what's happening, and then they will copy, and they will also make a diet pill, and they will also make this promise. So now there's 5 diet pills on in the market. So the original company now has their profits cannibalized. So if they don't change their marketing message and they just keep it at, hey, take this pill and lose weight, they'll fail. Or they'll at least contract to 20%, right? They have 4 other competitors, right? It's very simple to understand, but most businesses actually don't do this. So you need to stay constantly updating these things, and you need to be aware, have your ear to what's going on in the market. Now, what they needed to do next was, now that they see that a lot of people are making their same promise, so then they need to expand the promise. So, and you can see here it says, I'm pointing at the screen, you see here it says your promise has been made already, but is not being expanded upon by customers. So they need to move to stage 2 and say, take our pill and you'll lose 10 pounds within 30 days or your money back. Like, that's a clear, expanded promise. So if the idea here is very simple. If your avatar, your prospective avatar, sees both marketing messages, they say, hey, take our pill and lose weight, and then they see, take our pill and you'll lose 10 pounds in 30 days, that's an easy choice, right? If you see both products in the GNC or CVS or the supermarket, you're going to say, well, I'm clearly going to take the one that's making a clear promise that I'm going to lose a certain amount of weight in a certain amount of days. This is a no-brainer, probably the same price. Okay, I'm going to take it, right? So this is what we do, and we keep doing this. And the key is to keep aware of who your avatar is, where they're at, what they're thinking, and you know what level, what stage that they're at. So the way you can put this into practice is we've already done the avatar in step 1, the this competitor analysis here in step 2, and we've done a product analysis, and we've laid out the features and benefits of our product. You've done those steps in the first tactic. It may not look as clear and fancy as mine, but that's okay, as long as you have it down somewhere and you know what it is and your team knows what it is. And so how you do this is, from the other tactic, you should have already gained the information. So let's zoom out a slight bit here. So you should have gained the information. And by the way, this is an example from my customer, and this a product called Ink. And from the work that I did for them, they won product of the day, product of the week, and product of the month on their product hunt launch back in 2019. This is when they launched, and this is just a good example I'd like to show. And this is their sheet that we did for them. So this is proof that what I'm talking about is real. So they got all of those results. There's tons of products every day on Product Hunt from executing this process. So they saw that these were their competitors and these were the promises being made. So I'm not going to go into super long detail. This could be a 30-minute video. I'm not going to do that. But basically, we see what their promises are: less work and more flow, get more traffic, real-time research. So we looked at what these promises were, and then we developed what our promise was. So this is what you need to do. Look at what your competitors are saying, and let's make a promise that absolutely smashes them. Make sure it's a promise that's going to be mature for where the market is, and it's the best promise that is true that we can possibly make that beats our competitors. So we have here an emotionalized promise with the mechanism in it. These are Stay tuned for more of my tactics to understand what some of these concepts mean. It says, finally free yourself from the frustration of SEO forever with our real-time, AI-powered, easy-to-use content writing platform. This is the best promise compared to the competitors. It's an expanded promise, even though some of the other competitors are using expanded promise. But that's why we used our unique mechanism also. So we used I went to stage 4. So another thing with this, and this is basically the last point, is it's okay to go beyond. If you go to step 4, even though your competitors are only at step 2, that's fine. But what you can't do is if the market is at step 4 and needs to hear a promise with an expanded mechanism, you can't make just a promise expanded at stage 2. You will lose. Okay, because think about it today. If you see an ad that's on your phone that says, take this pill and lose weight, you're not going to buy that, right? Because you've heard that before. This thing has been around for 30, 40 years. But if you see, hey, are you having trouble losing weight during the pandemic? Take this pill. You'll lose 10 pounds within 30 days. It has been tested during the pandemic. It is from a forest in Brazil and has a very specific formulation to aid people that are sitting at computers all day. And here's the evidence that shows. Here's 20 case studies of people that are at home, working at home during the pandemic. They have stress, so it's a stress reliever, and it helps with posture. And here's the results that they got. Does this make sense to you? Like that is how far you have to go, because otherwise nobody's going to buy that, right? So go beyond the stage that the market is currently at. If the market could be at stage 0, which means no promise has been made yet. Now that's sort of like blue ocean. If you heard this phrase before, that's great. All you need to do is make a simple promise and you'll win. But you will get competitors, and if you get lazy, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose your profit. So just to wrap this up, so you want to make sure you know who your avatar is. You know who your competitors are. You see what their primary marketing promises are. Then you make your primary marketing promise, and you make sure that this promise is at an appropriate level for where the market is at. And when you do this, now this is the core of your marketing. You have what the promise is, and if you're having a unique mechanism, a unique way that you're delivering the promise to the prospect, I mean, wow, you are already 98. You're doing what 98% of businesses don't do, and you're going to outcompete them. And so I hope that was clear. And let's see. Yeah, so this is what it is. There's an example here. But this video should be a standalone, and if you do this, now you can use these promises and these talking about your unique mechanism, that what is it that you do in your product, and we'll talk about that in a later tactic. But these ideas, if you proliferate and seed all of your statements, all of your Facebook ads, all of your content with these ideas and with these messages, you're sure to outcompete and differentiate between you and your competitors, and you can win more in your marketing, make more money, have more happy clients, and yeah, just overall win at life. All right, how do I end this? All right, see you in the next video.